Hey amazing hackers, this episode is sponsored by the Cybersecurity Hat, the ultimate hacking platform where you can learn in a fun and a practical way using exclusive frameworks that unlock amazing possibilities. In the description of this video, you will find all details for my special code on the Cybersecurity Hacked products. Just use R19 at checkout and enjoy. Hello everyone, I am Milton and welcome to another fucking episode of R19.io podcast. Today's guest is one of those hackers who can both break things and explain them. He is co-founder and CTO of Ethiack, an autonomous ethical hacking platform mixing AI and human hackers. He also an invited professor at the University of Porto and Porto Business School, coach of Portuguese ECSC team. I don't know if I make mistakes. And former captain of xSTF CTF team, and with two HackerOne most valuable hackers award in this shelf. This is fucking amazing, bro. And in this episode, we'll talk about how you find bugs, how you actually turn hacking into a career, and what happens when you put AI into offensive security. André, I really appreciate your time. Thank you a lot for being here, man. And please introduce yourself to everyone.
Hey man, thank you so much for the invite. I'm really happy that we could find the agenda to do this.
Yeah, bro.
It's
That's
been
really
this time of the year has been very busy for everyone. But yeah, it's a great pleasure to be here, man. You pretty much described everything, so thank you so much for that. I'm a hacker. I'm also a builder of companies now, and I mean just one for now. And yeah, what mostly moves me toward these all these years is the curiosity of learning more, of understanding the future of technology, protecting it, and having fun and trying to
yeah.
push things harder as we are able to find better vulnerabilities, to tackle new technologies such as AI. I've also
Yeah.
been working on hacking AI assistants and models and stuff like that, which is also a really new field. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And thanks again
That
for having me.
yeah. Let's go. And okay, let's start simple. I have some questions for you, as I mentioned before. Let's start simple. When someone who has no idea what cybersecurity is ask you, so what do you do for a living? What do you do usually answer? Because I know that okay, many people follow you and a social network, but I know that, for example, close people you it's like your family, your friends, someone usually have this question usually. And when you what your usually answer for this type of question?
Yeah, that's a good one. To be honest, I it was pretty clear to everyone what have been doing, because I've always explained from the beginning, like, look, there's this area which is cybersecurity. Cybersecurity people are really needed, and that also includes ethical hackers, which are essential to protect the future of the internet. So that's pretty much what I answer. And I remember a quote from the former CEO of HackerOne, like Martin Mikkels, who said first that the hackers are the immunitary system of the internet. And that's true, because like we go over all these companies, all these organizations, we try to find vulnerabilities on them, we report them before the bad guys try to exploit them and destroy those organizations, destroy those products, or damage the data, or even attack the people that depend on that specific product or service. So it's a mission that it's I think it's a very it's what moves me, and it's
Mm-hmm.
what moves a lot of people. Also, all of us here at Ethiack, like we honestly believe that we are a bit late into fixing these problems. That's why we are also scaling these type of things to try to make it more autonomous and scalable, to be able to fix more systems as system-based vulnerabilities grow. There have been some recent reports, for example, from Verizon Media, the data breach report from 2025, mentioning that like the vulnerability exploitation is rising while compared with other vectors that depend more on the human factor, for example. And yeah, it's a mission to make the future of the internet still free, still private, and so that in a way that we can trust it for our daily lives, and we still believe that it's possible to leverage it to make our lives better. So
Yeah.
that's pretty much it, and people kind of understand. Some people obviously don't really understand and just say
Yeah.
all hackers are bad,
Yeah.
that's not really the case. There are good cops and
Mhm.
bad cops. It's probably kind of similar, but yeah, that's basically it. I'm not sure
Okay.
if you relate with this, but I believe so.
Yeah. That's really awesome. That's really awesome. And okay. What's there any specifically hacky set CTF challenge or bug bounty report early on that made you think, yeah, I could actually to do this for real, not just as a hobby. That question that usually I make this question for the most part of people here because usually you started I think yeah that yes I probably can make mistakes right now, but usually people not started directly on hacking this, usually people with my age, don't disclosure in my age right now, but uh, uh, usually people like me and like you as well usually start with in another areas in technology, not only directly in cybersecurity. And when you actually basically shift this key to do not only as a hobby.
Yeah. So I let me go a bit back into my journey. So I started with capture the flag, basically with CTFs,
Mhm.
trying to solve all these challenges. And I was the captain of the CTF team that you mentioned in the intro,
Mhm.
and I was doing a lot of research in the university, and that's kind of how I started into learning hacking, because before I knew how to use tools. I started using Linux back in the day. It wasn't Kali, it was Backtrack Linux 3 or something like that. And I knew how to use some tools, but then I had to start learning about deeper stuff to try to understand and learn new things about cryptography, about web exploitation, application specific vulnerabilities, reverse engineering, binary exploitation, and so on. So I kind of went into those areas. I started the CTF team with some professors. I was a student back in the day, and we played almost every weekend, trying to improve our skills, our team efforts, and trying to evolve as a team. And then there was a CTF for by HackerOne, in this case, one of the most well-known bug bounty platforms, as you probably know. And yeah, so they launched a CTF, and the CTF was like, all right, if you solve all these challenges, which are more kind of realistic, we'll get you an invite for an exclusive live hacking event in Las Vegas. So I was like, hell yeah, let me try it out. Let me see what happens. And I ended up finishing in the first place for that one, and I qualified
Okay.
to go to that event. And I'll answer your question, but I wanted to.
Yeah. Go
I
ahead.
just
Go ahead. Yeah,
So
go
when
ahead.
I went to Vegas, it was H1702, like one of the biggest flagship events they have been making throughout these years. And we got multiple targets. It was like Uber, Salesforce, and Zenefits, I think. So there were three companies as targets of that were customers of the HackerOne. And I was there, like my English wasn't that good. I was a bit, you know,
Mm-hmm.
talking about like, can I do this? And I didn't find any vulnerability. I couldn't find
Mm-hmm.
anything, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that was my first experience with bug bounties, and it was straight up a live hacking event. And people
Mm-hmm.
usually start like with bug bounties, and then eventually they get enough reputation to go to live hacking events. So I kind of took a shortcut because I was really good at CTFs, simulated
Mm-hmm.
scenarios, but not in real world scenarios. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, all right, it was cool. I earned my trip to Vegas, free hotel, awesome stuff. I met a lot of people, some legends from Bug Bounty back in the day, like, and even today, like Franz Rose and like and others. And then I came back home and I was like, damn, I couldn't find anything. Like I'm not prepared for this. I need to learn more, and that's what happened. So I started just hacking on bug bounty programs, and I wasn't working. I mean, I had like a scholarship for research in the university, but I wasn't working at that time. So what I did was like, let me just pick a bug bounty program and hack on it, and I picked Shopify. So
Okay.
I don't remember exactly why. I think it was because I had a friend with a vape shop that was building a shop on Shopify or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Then I was like, all right, this seems like a cool program. And they were paying up to $25,000 back in the day. So I was like,
Oh.
let me try this. And I spent like 1 month nonstop. Like every day I was hacking on Shopify and doing some university stuff on the side, but just hacking like maybe 8 hours per day on
Oh
Shopify.
my goodness.
Yeah. So at that point, I was good at solving complex CTF challenges. I knew how to exploit vulnerabilities, but I didn't really know where to find them. Right? What feature do you pick to test? Like, what's the new stuff? What could be interesting? What could be an interesting feature to test? Right? So I
Mm-hmm.
didn't have that spidey sense, and I had to develop it. And the best way to develop it, of course, back in the day, we didn't have so many podcasts like this one, bug bounty
Uh-huh.
podcasts, and so on. So you had to go and just try and read some blog posts and read some bug bounty write ups and stuff like that. So I just spent the month, and I received an email from Shopify on a Sunday or Saturday saying like, "Hey,
Mm-hmm.
like, can you confirm what you did on this day? Because we noticed something weird happening here." And I was like, oh yeah, like I tested these and that. And they were like, all right, we're going to give you $1,000 because you were just able to take over one of our domains. So basically
Oh.
Shopify had like this is a public report, so you
Uh-huh.
can even search on it on HackerOne, but it's like they had a
Mm-hmm.
domain which is myshopify.com. And
Mm-hmm.
then I tried to register that domain on Shopify itself, and it was a business logic issue. Like
Mm-hmm.
nobody was supposed to register that domain, and anyone
Mm-hmm.
going to that domain, which people usually do, ended up
Mm-hmm.
in my store full of payloads, chorizos, and stuff like that. Like that I there stuff I was trying. So I had millions of people going into my store instantly, and I didn't notice. So it wasn't on purpose, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it was really a really good experience because I was like almost with no hopes regarding finding real bugs. And then like I just received an email. They gave me $1,000, and they thanked me for actually trying that and in a responsible way, and that was it. And after that, like that's what I describe that as like, and even today when I start hacking on something, I can spend
Mm-hmm.
maybe a week without finding anything, but after I find the first bug,
Yeah.
I find a lot more. Like you just need to find the first one a lot of times, and then you'll get into the flow. You'll have a proper understanding of the target applications, of the attack surface, and then after the first one you get your confidence, and you just go from there and you find more vulnerabilities. So,
Yeah,
and at
awesome.
that point, I realized, okay, maybe I can do this for a living, right? That was your question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I started participating in more live hacking events. I got invited to another one through another CTF, and I won. That was my first belt as the most valuable hacker. So it
Mm-hmm.
was my next event. And then
Mm-hmm.
after that, I pretty much just did that and gave classes in the university until I then created the company. So I never did bug bounty full time. I usually
Mm-hmm.
did it part time. Even today, it's just like I don't have that much time for it, but I still do it to keep myself updated and
Okay,
because I
sure.
love it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Sorry for the long explanation, but yeah,
No, no, bro. That's really you take your time, and this is really a free conversation, and you can talk more. And yes, I noticed that you leave it all the sites, CTFs, research, bug bound, live hacking event, and let's say when you sit down in the front a fresh target that live and live hacking event, what do you what your first couple of hours look like and then practice let me walk me through your brain there.
yeah, sure. So this is something that I changed maybe like 2 years ago to approach it in a more structured way.
Mm-hmm.
Before it was just like, all right, there's these usually a scope call, and
Mm-hmm.
they just present like, look, this is the scope. You can go after these assets, these applications, and we are interested in these types of bugs, or we have bonuses for remote code execution, whatever, right? Or getting access into these accounts and so on. So back in the day, I was just like, all right, let's just go and target the main application and just go from there, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Like 2 or 3 years ago, I pivot my approach, and I what I usually do is, and especially because like we got multiple live hacking events happening with the same companies multiple times. Like we had Amazon and AWS like multiple times. We had Zoom. We had like the repeated targets that already have bug bounty programs. So usually, what I do in the first 2 hours or 3 hours, maybe I changed this because I created a company and I had to
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
structure my
Mm-hmm.
thinking, but and plan. So the first hours are just basically about planning and reading. So what I usually do is that I read through the scope, the policy, and I try to understand obviously the rules. And importantly, I try to understand what's new. So I try to understand what is in scope now that wasn't in scope before, or which is not in scope in the main bug bounty program, and so on. So I mostly classify the assets as hot or mild or cold, basically. So I
Mm-hmm.
usually go after the hot ones, which are basically the new ones or more recent ones, and or the new scope that may exist during the duplicate window, which splits all the bounties between the multiple researchers. So I usually focus on that, and then
Sure.
after that period ends, I usually, or even before it ends, sometimes I go into the more difficult stuff. I go into the assets that I've been in scope for a long time, and I try to focus only on critical or out of the box vulnerabilities on those. So that has been my main methodology on that. So nowadays, long story short, is more the first hours are not just let's just dive in and pop it.
Yeah.
Mostly about planning and reading and to make sure that we'll have
Yeah,
a
that's really a good strategy, bro. That's really awesome, because right now you like entrepreneur. Not only you basically right now have another vision and another landscape.
yeah
That's really awesome. And leveraging another thing that you said before about your tools, about your own tools. You have built your own tools and techniques over the years. In general, let's say, how do you decide I'm going to write something custom for this instead of just using whatever already out there?
Interesting question. It depends a lot on the ideas that I have. So usually, what I do when hacking a target is that, and also probably because of my experience with planning and companies, is like I do like mostly like a task list of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and I just while I'm hacking, I just dump stuff in there that comes into my mind. Like, all right, let's just create a new node and for this target, and then I just put like some ideas there, some goals that you may come up with. Like it would be cool to pivot from this account to another one, or it will be great to check if they are using an outdated version of a sanitizer, XSS, an HTML sanitizer, for example, and make sure to look for that and try to understand how it's used. Like I try to define those goals as I'm acting, right? So what I usually do is, all right, it depends on the scenario, like I was saying, but I usually try to look if there's a tool for that, right? So is there any tool for testing ssrf, for example, across all the traffic that I already have? And if there isn't, sometimes I write some costume script to go, and if I don't have it already, to go through all my traffic and just submit all the requests with that. I'm just giving you an example because I think that we didn't add something for Kaido, but that I mostly use instead of Burp these days. And I kind of wrote like a script to do that kind of stuff, and I found some bugs with that once. And but I mean, it usually depends if there's already a tool that I'm really confident that it will work to automate something or not. Basically. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And okay, let's talk about tools and techniques and things like that.
Yeah.
Let's bring Ethiack into this story. For someone who only knows traditional pen tests and maybe bug bound platforms, how do you explain Ethiack in your own words, and what make it's different?
Yeah. So basically, we at Ethiack we have been building a platform for autonomous ethical hacking. So what this means is that we what we provide to our customers. Uh, our customers, by the way, are mostly security teams from organizations. So they
Mm-hmm.
want to have a tool to do continuous scanning over their attack surface, but at the same time launch in-depth tests for certain applications, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so what we provide is a platform for both. It's like for attack surface continuous analysis and in-depth pen testing. And in the
Mm-hmm.
AI, in the in-depth pen testing part of it, what we provide is now, since we have been researching into agents and hackbots, we are able to do it with both our crowd of ethical hackers and the agents that we have been developing, also known as hackbots.
Okay.
In that way, so basically we can scale more the this kind of testing. We can make it faster for and easier for our customers to launch like a pen test against a given application, but we don't forget the human element on it, on mostly on top of the findings that all the automation can find, right? So that's
Mm-hmm.
pretty much it. And we have
Okay.
we have a crowd of hackers that work with us in a continuous way to help on that, basically. Yeah.
Okay. And there are a lot of hype around AI in cybersecurity right now.
Yeah.
And from what you see, Ethiack, I'm sorry, and in community, and what you think it's actually real today, and what is still pure marketing.
So yeah, that's a good one. So I think that AI in general, it's there's a huge hype over the AI capabilities, and also what we have been seeing is that there are companies that are completely uh, in a growth rate in terms of AI, that is not sustainable. Like, people are talking about the AI bubble and stuff, that it may happen or it may not happen sometime soon. We don't know, right? But people are talking about it, and there are companies that are just having huge valuations and that are basically. But at the same time, they promised something like this, but that is very exponential, and we are reaching a plateau where the AI models are not improving that much anymore. So they are improving. I'm not saying they are not improving, but they are not improving at the same rate that they were before, right? So in a way, there is definitely marketing around that in AI in general, right? And stuff that it's hyped, but there are definitely real good use cases for it. And in the case of what we are doing and other Ecbot companies in general, it can cover a lot of stuff. It's intelligent. It can use tools. It can think, or we can perceive that it thinks like a human pen tester in a way. But it will always be different, in my opinion, because in general, like, music that is generated by an AI model or a music that is generated by a human, both are music, but both are different. One is creative in a natural way, and the other one is creative in an artificial way. And we perceive it in a different way, right? So the same applies to pretty much everything: image generation, movies, hacking, whatever, right? All the areas that apply can be AI can be applied to. So definitely there are use cases for it. For example, to cover and to try to scan an application faster for vulnerabilities that may be easier to find, for example, or even some that may be a bit more complex but still not requiring a huge context or natural understanding over the application to find those. It's obviously a really good use case because we can find those faster. We don't need to spend so many resources on that, and we have the natural hacking on top to find any pretty much everything else that these kind of models may not find, right? And the same applies to pretty much all the fields that people are just applying AI to. Uh, I think that what's very important is for us to understand, in general, what are the limitations, what can it help us with, and what we shouldn't replace with AI at all, for example. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah,
so
because this is sometimes is a question that really many a lot okay many people have this question. This okay, right now if this type of tool, okay, I will lose my job for AI. How you think? Do you really you think that in the future pen testers you'll be replaced for tools like that?
no, I don't think so. I think that, like, of course, we are going to see uh, definitely the reduce of need for programmers, pen testers, whatever. We are witnessing already, because the job openings are decreasing as well, and there's a effect on that. But we'll still need those positions in my opinion. We may need less, but it's just something, a new technology that appeared, and as pretty much in every other revolution that happened before, we reinvented ourselves. We created new jobs. We created new areas of knowledge, and that's the point, right? We can try to embrace the future and trust that we will have other stuff to do, right? And to be honest, I think that hacking is one of the most complex things that could be ever replaced by AI. To be honest,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's the how can I say this? Like, it's the only thing that uh, could stop a machine.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, electricity as well, or some other bug. But I mean,
Yeah.
it's something that I mean, it's maybe music as well, or I mean, medicine. I don't know.
Yeah,
You need to have a humanity aspect. You need to be physically here for to understand stuff. For example,
yeah.
so I don't think that obviously there will be a symbiosis, and we are witnessing that, and we can do so much more by leveraging these technologies than just us alone. Right? We can amplify what we can do. So I don't like to be or think that we should be afraid of this kind of stuff, in my opinion. And I think that we have a huge problem to solve, which is the security itself, cybersecurity, because like
Mhm.
attacks are happening, people are not trusting information, not trusting the internet. You have the misinformation problem as well. Like there are bigger problems to solve, and we have an opportunity of embracing these kind of technologies to scale it, or we can just say no, this should not happen because it's AI. AI won't help us on anything, and let's not give a shit about the problems that we have and just think about our jobs. There's a
Yeah,
there's a bigger
that
picture,
that's
right?
yeah, that's a great insight. I really yes, not just because you talk about, but I really agree with your with your thoughts, because I think that uh, uh, specific things only humans can touch, to me that's really more than just say something to the prompt, and yeah, go ahead. I think this is more deep, and I really agree that in the future, okay, you right now need to follow this trend that are happen, because if you don't follow, you really can basically left behind many opportunities, and then you really needed to dive into. Yeah, but I really agree with your thought. And um, and on top of all that, you are also teaching and coaching and professor and CTF captain. Let me try to ask. Okay, when you look at students and CTF players, what are the patterns you see in the ones who really make it to a high level? Uh, that's really a question that I have, usually looking for your professional side.
Can you repeat like what I look for on
Yeah,
students?
yeah. When you look at students and CTF players, what are the patterns you see in the ones who really make it to a right level? I don't
Uh,
know if you know.
yeah, it's I usually see like an insane amount of persistence, like they just don't quit easily, or they just want to solve a challenge no matter what. It's
Mm-hmm.
basically seeing someone who is able to redefine what's possible, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much what we do as hackers, right? It shouldn't be
Mm-hmm.
possible to find a vulnerability in the system,
Mm-hmm.
or to find like an unintended way to make a system do something that it wasn't originally
Mm-hmm.
programmed to do, right?
Yeah.
So we kind of hallucinate a bit like an AI model, right? And we
Mm-hmm.
we just come up with some theory and we try to apply it in practice, and we find a vulnerability. So we just redefined what was possible with that system, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I usually see with the ones that go further is that mindset from the very beginning. It just they just believe that anything is possible, that they can change like anything, right? So
Mm-hmm.
and again, an insane amount of persistence, like they are just really they go deep on some challenge, or they go further by themselves. They don't want for us to give them tasks, Of course, we need to, because especially in the course, right? But they usually go further. Like they come up with questions like, uh, "Oh yeah, I solved that challenge, but I just remembered that maybe we can apply this to that, and I just did this research and found like some weird behavior on something." So that's the biggest thing, and it's something that I also remember that I did before when I was studying, which was nobody was telling me like to, hey, just go and study this about reverse engineering, for example. No, I just went and I just tried. I just decided I want to learn about this. I want to know more, and that's pretty much it. So that's what I mostly recommend to students, is to go further to be able to teach themselves because they just want to.
Okay, okay. And if someone listen and thinking right now, I like security and hacking, and I want to be my career. Let me say, what is a simple and realistic path you suggest for, okay, let's say the next 2 or 3 years, for example, because right now with AI it's more difficult. You have a difficult to think in the future, but you work directly with AI, and you build tools in AI and things like that. And what you suggest for the next 2 or 3 years in a realistic path?
For people that are just starting,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, all right. So I agree that it's getting more difficult because of AI to, to, because you need to be better than before, right? So you need to be really
Mm-hmm.
good. But at the same time, you have AI to help you learning as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of can leverage that to learn faster in a way. However, there are studies that mention that, like there are some potential cognitive implications of learning something new with AI, because you learn too fast. So you need to balance that. So what I would recommend, I cannot imagine myself like starting right now with that. That's a very
Mm-hmm.
difficult exercise to do.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had to, I would say for people to start by learning about programming, like Python, for example, trying to build like a web application, for example, or some software, trying to code something, then move on to leverage LLMs like Cloud Code or whatever to help them, or
Mm-hmm.
even GitHub Copilot for, and try to understand all that, all those kind of tools work, right? To build applications and try to fix problems on them, like trying to understand how it works. But before, not using any AI in the beginning, all right? And then moving on into security stuff through CTFs, okay? Capture the flag without using any AI again in this.
Yeah.
I mean, you can use AI to, you can go to ChatGPT and ask something like, "What would you do in this scenario? Because there's this application, and I have this idea. Like, you have any other ideas?" Like, you can do that, but it's not as powerful as spending 12 hours, like just banging your head against the wall, not knowing what to do. That's what will increase your persistence, and in the process you will make so many hypotheses about it that you will learn a lot of different things in a way. So you can, it's difficult, it's confusing to talk
Yeah.
about, but you know what I mean, is that in a way you can leverage AI to learn something new faster, but
Mm-hmm.
not so well if you just don't use it,
To,
maybe.
to
um
try to resolve all the things.
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So I would probably again start playing CTFs, and if the CTF challenges are good, they are AI proof these days. Like, we have been building CTFs, and we built the beside Lisbon CTF. You were there,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
those challenges could not be solved. Most challenges could not be solved by LLMs. Why? Because they were new techniques. Most of it, they were new stuff that those techniques weren't documented on the internet anywhere because we were the ones that found those, right? And that's the cool thing about LLMs. Like, they may be catching up with human intelligence, but at the same time, we are the ones that still define the future knowledge, right? In a way. So
Yeah.
we are the ones that are able to find new techniques, and like the LLMs won't know those techniques, right? And after
Yeah.
that, after the CTFs, and after you, like, I recommend for people to play in the team if possible, to get some friends and play together and so on. I would move on into real world stuff. Just go and try to do bug bounties, listen to bug bounty podcasts, uh, watch some YouTube channels like from Live Overflow, NAMSEC, and others which are really good. And
R19.io podcast.
sorry.
R19.io
Oh
podcast is
yeah,
my
of course,
podcast.
of course, of
Yes.
course. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Look for blog posts, follow accounts on Twitter, like join some communities. There are amazing Discord servers these days with, even from Kaido, from Bug Bounty
Mhm.
podcasts. Like, they have some really nice Discord channels and servers for you to join and learn things with other people. So that's pretty much what I would recommend.
Yeah,
And yeah,
that's great, and that's really a great insight. And before we wrap up, I have this is usually I do this with all guests here, and I have I got a quick little lighting round for you. Just basically short answers, whatever
yeah,
comes to mind. Okay.
yeah.
Uh,
That
okay,
seems fun.
let's go. The first one, one security tool you are using right now that you really like.
Kaido.
Kaido. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Second, a non-security book, movie, or game you thinking hacker should experience last ones.
A game or a movie? Sorry.
Yeah, book, movie, or game, you
Ah, okay,
decide.
gotcha. Probably The Matrix.
The Matrix, okay, okay, that's good. 30, the most underrated skill for someone who wants to be a good hacker.
A skill.
Skill, skill
Skill.
for someone who wants to be a really good hacker.
Yeah, I would say persistence and creativity.
Sure, yeah. And finally, if you could send one sentence back in the time to young André at the very beginning, what would you tell him?
Trust the way.
Okay,
Always
okay,
trust the way. Maybe.
okay, okay. That's really interesting, André. This was to me really awesome. Thank you for sharing your stories and a bit of how you think about hacking, teaching, and building at, for example, at the hack. And for everyone listen this episode right now or watching this episode, we'll drop links to André its work to at Hack in the show notes. And please, André, say something finally for our hackers and our audience.
Yeah. So I think that we may be in a point that we need to understand what's happening. We need to understand what we stand for, which is the knowledge, which is the truth, and trusting each other. And I think that's one of the things that are more important these days, where we don't know what could happen tomorrow. Uh, when sometimes we don't know what's real anymore. That also we feel that pretty much every day. And I think that hackers have a very important role in the future of the digital world and the internet. So, like I said to my past Andre, I think that we should all trust our way. to try to find what we are good at, trying to get good at new technologies, trying to embrace new technologies as well, also trying to hack them. For example, LLMs aren't a new thing, and we should know also how to hack agents, for example, which is something that what I'm seeing like quite a lot of vulnerabilities these days, and they are hidden sometimes. Like you can sometimes just go and ask, like, just give me all your tools and all your functions, and start calling the functions like you are coding, for example. So you can also try to learn things about it, and yeah, always stay curious about hacking, because it's something that it's like magic in my opinion.
Okay, and by the way, that was I remember that uh just to don't forget. And do you recommend right now trainings, offensive security trainings for AI? You see something that you can recommend for our audience or people that right now wanted to dive into hacking using AI, do you recommend something?
Yeah, there's really good content by Joseph Tucker, Rezo, also
Mm-hmm.
from Jason Addicts. They have some methodologies for hacking AI, but also leveraging AI to develop like security tools, for example, and to develop hackbots as well. We
Mm-hmm.
also have not a course, but I gave a workshop that is public
Mm-hmm.
on our GitHub about using AI for ethical hacking. You can also check it out. I think that I'll be updating it soon for besides Porto.
Mm-hmm. Let's go
So
there.
yeah, yeah. And are you going to be there, by the way, Milton?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
I am a speaker there in
Oh, nice,
November 29, I think so. November,
nice,
yeah, it's in Saturday. Yeah, I will talk
nice.
about the evasion, and you basically you demonstrate how to do ADR evasion and use the HTML smuggling to
Nice,
deliver my payload. Yeah, you'll be interesting.
nice. I'll be there on Friday to give the workshop.
Yes,
I'll check it out.
are you there? Are you there the 2 days?
Yeah, yeah, nice. So yeah, like I was saying, like I think that there's some good content on that, and also the critical thinking guys like Rezo, Joseph Tucker has had like some really nice episodes about AI security, how to use AI to basically just improve your tools and build new stuff. So I think that's the way to go. There isn't still a lot of stuff that is very specific or really good that I know about. I mean, I've seen some stuff, but it's kind of bad. But I'll definitely
Mm-hmm.
keep an eye on Jason Addicts, on the Joseph Tucker, and also the Ethiack blog, because we have been sharing also
Okay.
some knowledge on these, also with some results we are getting. So that's something to keep an eye on, and also play with tools like. There have been some new tools that leverage LLMs for multiple stuff. Like we have some open source hackbots like Citrix and more that you can also play with. Also, the cybersecurity AI one that also came up last year, for example. Those are the
Mm-hmm.
kind of things I would recommend you to just explore, give it a
Mm-hmm.
try, and try to see if you can, you know, have some stuff running on the background while you go further and try to find new knowledge, new techniques as you go. And that's pretty much it. But yeah, in terms of certifications, I mean, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not a huge fan. I mean, I see the value on multiple certifications, but I'm not a huge fan of those. Like, I would probably recommend someone who have played CTFs and is a really good CTF player,
Mm-hmm.
while compared with holding just, for example, a certification.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I don't see any AI specific, or I don't
Yeah.
know if any certifications are integrating AI into their programs? I believe so. I think it would make.
Yeah, I think that try hack me right now. Probably, yeah. I know that. For example, I have a Russian friend that a few months ago did the exam. That basically, when he finished this exam, basically was the AI that basically create an evaluation about their report and things like that. And then but I think that usually AI for exams usually are being used to basically look for reports and things like that, and to create some validations and things like that. Yeah, yes, this is the movement that I'm seeing in certification programs,
Mhm.
but I'm not sure that right now exists one specifically certification focused on AI. I know that Isaka, for example, has a certification that's called CISA, that's focused for um, security auditors, but right now it's CISA AI. That's more right now it's more focused on governance for AI. But I don't know another players that right now it's more technical,
Yeah.
specifically certifications for AI yet. I don't know.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we'll see more of those as time goes and technologies evolve. And I think it's natural to happen because we are just seeing so many AI attack surface being deployed everywhere. Like every product is getting an assistant, like is getting an
Yeah.
MCP server to be integrated with, like client chats, like cloud desktop and stuff like that. I think there's a huge attack surface, and I think that we are going to have a lot of more content on that. We already start having it, and we had some good talks on HackerOne. You were there as well, and
Yeah.
um, from Ronnie, like they usually publish. I was forgetting about it. Like Ronnie
Mhm.
Carter, also known as Lupin in the bug bounty world, like he has been hacking Google Gemini for a long time, and we also have more researchers that have been publishing insane stuff about it, and I think we should keep an eye on these kind of blog posts and talks that they are giving, because it's just like mind blowing how they are able to to make the AI model do things that it wasn't supposed to, or to leak some internal environment variables, or to find stuff in the AI model sandbox that shouldn't be supposed to be there, for example. So I think that there's a lot of knowledge on that people will want to learn in the next few years if they want to really catch up with what's happening and how. Because I think that, like, in the near future, there are people that see these as well, but I think that in the near future we are going to access most parts of the internet through agents or through chats. Like, you just tell the chat like something like, "Oh, just send me an invite to this person for this meeting," and it just works. Right? It's already possible to do it, but it's
Yeah.
not something that we are doing naturally already for most operations. But I think that we may be moving more towards it, as people will start integrating and automating more flows with this kind of assistance. So there's a huge surface to analyze. Even in the desktop applications, there are a lot of vectors that
Mhm.
demand a lot of research. So I think it's if I had an area for people to just start working on and learning new things, it would be probably this field. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you again for all insightful. Thank you again for sharing your stories and a lot of that. And I really appreciate your time. Thank you again for joining me today. And please, for everyone listen, uh, don't miss this episode. Please follow André on social network, LinkedIn, Instagram. and another social networks. I don't know if you have. You probably have a Discord. I don't know if you have one specific Discord channel that you want to share here. But I will put this link below this episode.
Yeah.
And please subscribe to the channel. Please, if you like this episode, please share with your family, with your friends, with your hackers friends, and things like that. And see you in the next fucking episode. Thank you, André.
Thank you. Like and subscribe. Bye bye.
Yeah. Bye. See you.
Bye.